You need to do long distance running occasionally, but you need to do a lot more shorter length and mid-length runs. And you can even take some days that are just rest days, where either you don't run at all or you run much shorter distances. Because your body's designed that it needs rest in order to be able to heal itself. I have several friends that have hiked along the Appalachian Trail. I'm an outdoors guy. I went to school down at EMU, so Appalachian Trail's half an hour away. But I had a few friends that decided after college they were going to thru hike the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. And, I was talking with them afterwards, and they said, one of the craziest things was that you realize once you get on the trail, it's not all about just putting down the miles. That you can only put in 20-plus mile days of hiking for so many days before you need to take a day and rest. There will be days that you have to schedule into your trip where you either hike a very short distance or you don't hike at all. You start a day resting, writing letters home to your parents, things like that. Because your body needs that time to be able to repair itself. So far we said, eat well, avoid excess stress, exercise, there are 5 of these by the way, rest, and the 5th one, get regular checkups with a doctor. Sometimes even if you do everything else right, you just can't get away from heart trouble. My dad's family has a long history of heart disease. Most of my male relatives on that side of the family who have passed away died from heart attack. So I know that even with eating right, avoiding excess stress, exercising, and getting adequate rest, that I still am at risk. So I need to make sure that I am meeting with a doctor regularly to try to make sure that I'm doing what I can to keep my heart healthy, but also try to catch minor problems before they become major problems. So what are the 5 things? Can you remember them? I've listed them a couple times. Here we go. So what's the first one? Eat well. Exactly. Second one? Avoid stress. Avoid excess stress. Third one? Exercise. Right. Then rest. Rest comes after exercise. And what's the 5th one? The final one? Regular checkups with the doctor. Right. Right. That's good. If I would do this with a group of campers, I'm not sure they would have caught all of those. You guys are good. So spiritually, we need to take these same steps in order to keep our hearts healthy. We need to eat well. What are you putting into your bodies? What are the things that you are allowing into your life? Are they things that are going to reduce the flow of God through you? Or are they things that are going to help keep your arteries clear, help keep God moving in your life, help keep you excited and working towards His will? Are you getting enough fiber to scrub out the gunk? So eat well. Avoid excess stress. Our job is to serve God and do His will. When what we are doing is outside of God's will for us, we're filling ourselves with excess stress that we don't need. We need to exercise. Don't just sit there. Get up and do something for Jesus. If you aren't actively being a witness to the world around you, then you are losing your ability to witness. Let me say that again. If you aren't actively being a witness to the world around you, you are losing your ability or your capacity to witness. Just like if you're not exercising, you're not going to go outside and try to run a marathon. If you're training for a marathon, then someday you're going to go try to run a marathon. Hopefully you'll do well. If you're not spending that time seeking to serve God, seeking to share and witness in this world, you're going to lose some of your capacity, some of your energy, some of your experience in knowing how to do that. You need to get rest. God says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." You can't go all out all the time. It just doesn't matter. You look at Jesus, he would often go out to the wilderness and spend time alone with the Father, away from the energy-draining work that he was doing with healing the sick, teaching, and preaching. It's good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for us. You need to get regular checkups with your doctor. God is the great physician, and you need to spend time with him daily. Keep in mind that when you go to the doctor, you don't just run into the doctor's office, tell him all your health concerns, and then turn around and head out the door without being checked out, before they have a chance to run further tests, or before they even give you the results. Sometimes they even do some blood work, which I personally really hate. I don't like needles. Only after that thorough examination can you get a good diagnosis and find out how to get better. How many of us, when we go to see the great physician, run in our prayers and say, God, I need help this week, it's going to be a long week. Help me not to get really mad at Deb when she gives me all the extra work to do at camp. And then run out without actually spending time with him, without letting him further examine me, without waiting for his response. That's a tough one. From my own experience, I've often learned too that God doesn't just give you that prescription that you take and get it filled and you start taking the top of those pills and you feel better. That would be really easy. I've had these ear infections, not this year, thank you, but last year I had it was probably 4 or 5 ear infections over the course of the year. It's driving me nuts. But every time I feel one coming on, all I have to do is go to the doctor. They give me the prescription for an antibiotic. I go fill it, start taking it. A couple days, I'm better. Okay? Straightforward. Oftentimes, from my experience, God doesn't give me that kind of easy, just, go pop this pill and just start feeling better. He actually gives me some work to do. He tells me that I need to change my diet. I need to get more exercise. I need to avoid excess stress. I need to rest. And I need to spend more time with him. It's about relationship. If you let spiritual cholesterol reduce the flow of God in your life, you're only hurting yourself. Just like eating a triple Baconator may sound like you're going to be at the time. It fills your hunger, it tastes real good. But over the long run, especially with repetition, your arteries are going to fill with sludge. So too, sin can feel good at the time. But it will fill your spiritual arteries with sludge. The good news is that God can heal those arteries. God can wipe that sludge away. Just like in our physical bodies, it takes some work, it takes intentionality. It requires us to know what we're filling our bodies with. Are you eating a diet that's full of fiber of the scriptures? Have you eaten your Wheaties of prayer? Do you regularly eat the oatmeal of worshiping the Master? Don't forget the veggies of fellowship with those who are working at the same spiritual diet. And you can't forget the exercise of witness, of living out loud for Jesus. Eating the right foods and getting exercise makes your body more healthy and fit to be able to do the work that you need to do. You'll have more energy to keep up with kids, be able to take long walks with your wife, perhaps even participate in sports, like the Camp Love's Ultimate Frisbee Tournament on June 12th. Eating the right spiritual foods and getting your spiritual exercise will allow God's Spirit to flow through you and better energize you for His work through your life. It will allow you to be in a right relationship with God. And that, after all, is your blessing. To see God.